We are on our way to motorcycle dealership with a service center. We got my 2011 Ducati Evo matte black 848 ready to go in the back of the bed of the truck. Had my buddy help push it up because this bike, like everything, is more like a museum piece. It has a dead battery. Tires are not as old as I thought, but they're like 6 years old probably. Couldn't let it sit any longer, like other things. Trying to take one thing off the list at a time. Maintenance, vehicle, hobby, treating ourselves to a full service with this 848. So new tires, that's a big one. That's where the majority of the money goes. All fluids, oil, brake. You know, we're not gonna touch the suspension. I wish we could redo it, put some fresh Öhlins on it, kind of balance it out. I always thought the 848s could have been improved with a upgraded Öhlins package, but we're going to get it at least road worthy, have them do a full check over. So who knows? I don't know what I'm gonna use it for in the springtime, but this bike will be ready for anything when the springtime comes. Getting it serviced this time of the year, you actually save a little bit of money. Try and make that a rational reason for going to do this, even though it's really not. We're doing it though, and that's the important part. Getting this bike back on the road. Maybe next year we'll do an Öhlins suspension on this bike. And this is a 2011. This bike is now 15 years old. What I love about this bike, which I prefer about motorcycles, by the way, who wants to buy a motorcycle from a 6'3", fat son of a bitch, 230-pound guy? That just looks like Burger King on two wheels rolling around, destroying it. This was purchased by a woman, 110-pound max woman that rode this minimally. My first bike, green, beautiful 09 ZX6R Kawasaki, perfect bike all around. That was also owned by a woman, and I definitely would prefer buying a motorcycle from a previously owned woman because they're gonna ride it lighter, nicer, not destroy it as much. Dealership, you know, I think if you walked into this dealership with 10,000 bucks, probably under, you could have some amazing new two-wheel rides. And I saw on their website crazy deals. We'll see. I'm excited to be back in a motorcycle dealership. We're freezing in our Ram Power Wagon that still has a heating issue. I got this thing blown out the coolant hoses a month and a half ago. Now it's super cold conditions in the Northeast. You know, 23 is the high today. Started off at 2. This heat does not keep up. I have no motivation to keep this truck if I can't keep the heat anymore. And it's a shame because this truck still gets compliments everywhere it goes. Most trucks don't. Most trucks are dime a dozen, but the cool ones come with the price. Is it worth it? I don't know. So I bought this bike. It was the second bike I really purchased that was a road bike. I had this Kawasaki ZX6R, and then after testing and riding an 848, and when I say I was testing and riding it, first time I ever rode a Ducati was this, and it was in the desert through Nevada, Arizona stretch. I think the difference I felt right off the gate after going, you know, obviously speed limits in the Arizona deserts, the Ducati felt way more stable at the faster speeds and just locked in. I was obsessed. Come back after, and my friend says he knows this lady selling a black 848. So I have my Kawasaki ZX6R, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try an upgrade. I was able to sell the Kawasaki, a couple thousand more. I got the Ducati. The Ducati was almost bone stock, except it was lowered for this lady because she was like 5'3", 110 pounds. Bought the bike, rode it home, brought it to a shop, brought the suspension back to stock height, did a couple little basic upgrades like accessories, nothing crazy. That bike has been rock solid. I've done a belt service, but that was a good 5 years ago. It's got 8,000 miles on it. I've ridden that bike some good trips up through Vermont, New Hampshire. It's a beautiful bike. You know, I feel like bikes of these eras, the early 2000s, like, you know, mid 2000s, 11s and whatnot, everything was built really well. I had also got a couple track times in my going, and in the track life, got a couple different track bikes. I had a Suzuki GSX-R 600 that I was going to try and sell actually, and then I took it on the track one time and I crashed it, so then I said it has to become a track bike. Then I sold that for my good friends. The guy who recommended that 848 to me, he had a decked out ZX6R 2009 green Kawasaki track bike, and it was just like mine, but every track option you could ask for. Quick shifter, shark skins bodywork that was professionally painted to look like a legitimate race bike, had everything, you know, full Öhlins suspension, Brembo brake kits, the quick shifter. This thing was set up for the track. All the horns, the lights were taken off of it. Anything that didn't make it go fast was taken off this bike. It was stripped down in weight. That's what I have in my garage right now. He bought this bike and it was crashed on the motorcycle on a track. It had a small little dent on a frame. They called it salvage, and a girl crashed it on the track. Then he bought it, made it the ultimate track bike, sells it to me, and I would take both those bikes to the track. You kind of have A and a B bike. So I would have the Ducati and the Kawasaki. Also, if one goes wrong, you have the other bike. It was pretty nice lineup. The Ducati is a very stock setup, a stock bodywork, stock suspension, but it had nice tires on it, and it's a Ducati. It was good track days. I did dump that motorcycle up at New York safety track, went off the track, grass, downhill, rocks, done. Dumped it, got some good coin back from the insurance company. Didn't want to get rid of it, obviously, kept it. So into this motorcycle for minimal money, own it. I put it on the racetrack again, several times after. That Ducati is beautiful on the track. Even just with the suspension that it has, it's still super locked in. And on the racetrack, no traction control. The Kawasaki has traction control, even though you can still crash it easily enough with old shitty tires like I did. The Ducati though, just being 100% no traction control, no technology, you and feeling everything out. I feel like I could ride that bike better than ever trying to rely on anything. Whenever you rely on something, it makes you a worse driver, I feel like. Say bye-bye. Say hello to new, fresh everything. 2 weeks later, feels like a long time, lots happened. Dropped this truck off in between for 2 days to the best local mechanic out there. F the dealerships. Worst thing in the world is bringing your vehicle to a dealership. Find a trustworthy local mechanic. That's where you bring your money. This guy filled up my heater core with CLR. He drained the coolant out, filled it up with CLR. Then we reflushed those coolant lines. It made a big difference. So regarding this truck's heat, I was left beyond frustrated. We also have had in the Northeast horribly cold winter with a lot of 0 degrees, 5 degree days, 10 high degree days. Got this truck worked on. The heat's working a lot better. Pretty much when it's about 15, 18 and up, this truck's really good now. When it's 5, 10 degrees, this truck is still not right. And I don't think it ever will be. Kind of lost faith in the Stellantis group, Ram, Dodge, Jeep, all of it. We're almost out of winter. So here we are, going to get the Ducati. I'm excited about that. What we did with the Ducati, starting with the most important, we did all fluid change, replaced the belts, which last time I did the belts was probably 3,000 miles ago, but also 6 years ago. And the Ducati 848 has 2 engine belts. Those are rubber belts. And like anything, forget about the mileage, age wears out rubber. So even if you don't ride or drive something a lot, rubber items wear out. Did that, new battery, rubber. Speaking of, fresh Pirelli. I downgraded 1 step as far as how heavy the tire was rated for the track. This is more of a street-friendly Pirelli tire. But as far as Ducatis go, Ducatis love Pirellis and they go hand in hand. So fresh rubber tires, that's a big lift. Motorcycle tires cost as much as most people spend on their car tires for 4. Right? So 2 tires, I'm not gonna talk about the price out loud. Doesn't matter. It's all about the smiles per miles. And that's what this Ducati is gonna do. And this is a 15-year-old motorcycle that is pretty much, I hope, completely roadworthy again. So for a small little investment as far as getting this bike mechanically, kind of went through, and nice having these guys literally go through the bike, you know, top, left, right, up, down, all of it. They look the bike over, and that just brings peace of mind when you're riding something more than anything, to have a clear mind that you got a machine that is safe and let you rip and go safely while doing that. So I'm excited.